Hey, it's Alicia with Douglas Edmond Real Estate, and today I wanted to talk about what happens to your property when you pass away. A very serious topic that no one wants to discuss until the time comes, and then everybody is scrambling around looking like who's in charge, So, first things first, if you have large assets, a business, you own property, you own investment or real estate property, it's so important to have a revocable living trust because you can skip the probate process. And when I say the probate process can be long, lengthy, and a headache, trust and believe. My husband, he passed away unexpectedly via motorcycle accident. He did not die with a will, so his estate had to go through probate process, and it is a pain in the ass, and you're literally waiting months if not years to be able to either access a property or have access to the cash that they left behind. So what happens is, if you have a revocable living trust, you can skip the probate process. If you have a will, it will designate who is the beneficiary and the executor of your estate, and that person will distribute things as you stated in the will, and not just property, but also bank accounts, investments, and things of that nature. Another thing is, a lot of people, they don't think of their time coming to an end or anything like that, so a majority of people die without a will, and that will make the process a little lengthier, and the state then designates who is next in charge. If you're married, it will go to your spouse. Always make sure you update your documents every year, right? Because things change. People stay married, but they're not together, whatever the case may be. So you always want to have your affairs in order with that in respect. So if you're married, your spouse will get it first, then your children, starting with the oldest, or they'll distribute evenly depending on how many children you have. Then your parents, and then your siblings. And then if you don't have siblings, then cousins, they'll go down the family tree, but your family will literally have to fight with the state. And when I say fight, I mean like get attorneys involved, go through the probate process with this, which is lengthy, and it's that on top of grieving is just like not recommended. So revocable living trust, do that. Don't say I didn't put you onto that. I want all of my clients and anyone that I know, if I can make your life a little easier, and just give the information, there it is. Another thing I wanted to mention, since we're on the topic of not just real estate, right, and what happens with your property when you pass away, but also bank accounts, life insurance, things of that nature. So, in debt, okay? So this is why it's important to keep your debt to income ratio low, not just when you're purchasing a house, but just in general. So your life insurance, and retirement is like 401k. You want to make sure it has a payable on death or transfer on death, POD or TOD account, so you can bypass the probate entirely. When I tell you probate is a pain in the ass, trust me. My husband passed in 2018 and it's 2025, and I'm still waiting on things. That's how much of a pain it is. So if you have your retirement accounts or your life insurance, make sure that you have a payable on death or transfer on death clause in those accounts, so you can designate your beneficiary. And like I said, every year when January 1st rolls around, make sure you update those policies, because some people just put their sibling as their beneficiary. Now next thing you know, they get married and have kids, and their sibling is still listed as a beneficiary. Why? The family you came from, yes, is important, but it's not as important as the family you create, and I stand on that. Okay. And then debts and liabilities. So people think, okay, you have this amount of money, whatever it is, 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, $1 million. But if you had any debts and liabilities, I can guarantee you they will come after that estate. They will come. They're like vultures. They're like, oh, you have this old $2,000 hospital bill must be paid. Or, people think like you get a lot of money when someone passes away, especially like a spouse or whatever. But if your spouse had debts like car loans, mortgage, other things of that nature, credit cards, whatever the debt was, they get their money before you do. Trust and believe that. And it's just sometimes the estate doesn't have enough assets in it to cover the debts, and then they'll just divvy it up. So you really want to make sure you keep your credit card balances and loans and stuff like that must be paid from the estate once the estate is established, and there's no getting around it. So once again, make sure you have your affairs in order. Make sure you're always going over your documents, especially when you step into that realm of, okay, now I want to be a homeowner.